Good evening and welcome to the Mayor's Update.
Yeah, and here we are again. And
Right on time.
It's Tuesday, and we started right at 6:30 because we know there is a Blue Jays game tonight.
There sure is.
Right, but the pre-game starts at 7:30, game at 8, so we shouldn't have any trouble with Mayor's Update getting in your way.
That's right, and we know there are viewers here who will switch off and move right over to that, so we have to respect their time.
Not to mention Dale's name.
Dale, yes, not to mention Dale, but absolutely.
I hope
Dale.
He's already on so that he heard that we're talking about him early, and way to go, Blue Jays.
Woo, my goodness.
It's been a lot of fun watching those two games.
Couple games.
Now it's in New York, and I don't know if we'll be able to. Is there an interpreter?
Yeah, someone can interpret the American.
Right.
But,
lots of big things happening in town.
Oh, my goodness.
We got so much stuff to cover that we don't want to miss anything.
No.
And we want to answer your questions. So if your questions come in, we want to stop and make sure we do it. But our new treasurer, Adam Boland, started this week, yesterday, actually. And we're going to have him as a guest pretty soon, but we're going to let him find out where the bushel baskets of cash is.
Oh, yeah.
In the treasurer's office. And that means we have to say goodbye to Dan Sheridan, who's retired.
Wonderful fellow, Dan Sheridan.
Dan's been an incredibly good treasurer for us and for me for most of my time as mayor. So, but excited about having Adam here. So, Dan, we love you. Have some good time in your retirement. Please come and visit. And Adam, way to grab onto something really big, and we're ready to do it. Welcome. Yeah.
It's going to be crazy. It's the amount of plans you guys have in the city right now.
And with all of the things, and some of them are pretty costly. We keep talking about how expensive a wastewater plant, I can't call it that, water reclamation plant.
Water reclamation, that's right. Yeah.
Right? And we have some pretty good coverage from the province, working on some coverage from the feds. St. Thomas is pretty ready for it. So a couple of big industries are ready to be ready for it. So we feel comfortable about it, but we're still 3 years from pumping water through it. So we're got a lot to do in those 3 years to get industry running and open in our community. Jobs. We'll take it, right? So.
Yeah. Speaking of jobs, I just got the Amino North America Corporation photos up.
I saw something came up today on that, and I went, way to go.
Oh, there's going to be some more jobs
there. The stuff we've done in just the last little while in our community, then some of them not even with much fanfare, but we talked about Element 5. We talked about Amino. We talked about what's happening with PowerCo and the rest of the Yarmouth Yard site. And then what's happening because we're building this type of servicing in our community and the jobs that come with it. Certainly construction projects too.
100%.
Yeah.
And I was just up in London at Manufacturing Matters at the London Economic Development Corporation, put together over 1,000.
Did you say hi to Bill for me?
I did, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because I used to be on a board with him, and he and I used to do Economic Development 101 with each other because he's really, I'll say Sean's a little better.
Sean was there.
Bill's a pretty good economic development guy. So great to see him and that city. When will it be done? They keep building it.
I don't know.
Construction is and I'm hearing it now here too. And we're really looking at what 2026 will look at. But there's going to be a couple of big construction things we have to do again still in order to meet connection of water reclamation pipes and water pipes for the usage in our community. So as we get to budget, I don't want to even pre-guess what they might be. As we get to budget, we'll decide what's first, second, or third on that construction list for next year. But it will be less than the last couple of years have been your mayor promises. Right?
Oh, man. But I think that it's so incredible, the number of companies that are working in our community. Right. And then talking to them for doing some event coverage and other photos for them and just getting the behind the scenes look at all that stuff and then being able to share it a little bit later.
To actually see the behind the scenes look at Amino.
Yeah.
And what water forming can do.
The 5 presses that they've got, and then they can speed up their whole process. They can increase the complexity.
How you can press an emblem into a hood or make a hood. Really
like your Mustang.
Shape.
They've got the Mustang horse.
Wasn't that something?
Water.
Right.
They just
It just is on the fender, and it doesn't hurt the integrity of the steel on the fender. It just things you learn. Right. And then Element 5, looking at their glue
incredible.
lamp facility and the cross-laminated beam facility that are now all being done here in St. Thomas.
And like we said, we did the tour and we saw the new plant, which they're not ready to show pictures of yet. But wait till people get a chance to see that, because it's incredible.
Right. And the 100 or so more employees that are now going to be working there, assembling, basically housing to go other places. Right.
World-class wood products.
Yeah.
Snowflakes. We got together with other.
Oh, that was fun. On the hottest day, an over 30-degree day, we're fixing snowflakes on the tables at the market. Grayden brought all the parts. We tested all the snowflakes. We're talking about the snowflakes that hang up downtown.
Yeah. Right? They're over 50 pounds each. We're lugging these around.
People were doing something with snowflakes, and they said, what? No, it's getting ready for Christmas.
Yeah.
In St. Thomas. Light up Talbot and all those neat Optimus Parade stuff we do.
Christmas starts early.
How many did we finish doing?
We finished 11.
Wow, that's great.
23 more if we can find the time.
That have parts to do.
That we can do.
But we didn't have them all up last year because there's some that weren't working. So
it's
with
the cost.
What we've now fixed,
yeah,
and the new 11, we may have a pretty good display of snowflakes, even if we don't fix any more. But
I am so happy about the amount of money we're saving tens of thousands of dollars by buying the parts, doing the volunteer work. And we had Dwayne from Integris, an electrician. So we were doing this stuff, and he's able to make calls on stuff.
No, we can tell you, we can cut here and here on the,
and we'll switch the polarity, and then bing, bam, boom.
Yeah, and I went, is there something else I could carry? Because I don't know crap about what you're talking about with the, and don't plug it in while I'm touching it.
No, it was clear. Yeah. Everyone steps back. We plug it in.
Well, when we had a little smoke, some of them were badly weather damaged, and that's what shorted out some of the lights on.
What's really cool, they got fuses built into them.
So into the plug. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
With even a spare in there.
So it stops any fires from happening, because as soon as the short goes, it turns
off the light.
Blows. Yep.
Well, and so the people who called the mayor last year to say, my snowflake quit working, fix it now. It's not something we can do once they're up. It really is hard for us to take them back down and do any repairs. But we can mark them specially as we're taking them down and fix them next summer in a work detail like like Grayden ran. I was, just
couldn't have done it with all the volunteers.
I collected garbage. I moved. I tested all the ones that we could plug in.
Yeah, we had
then
60
we moved
to
them
test.
over. Right.
Yeah.
Put all the good ones in the back of the storage unit, and look, I had a roll to do, but it wasn't electrical. So that was Saturday. At
what
the
a
market.
day!
Yes.
Yeah. And then I went home and had a nap after that. Because I was done.
Yeah. Well, I went and said, that was a hotter than I thought day.
Yeah.
Right. I left at 4, and you guys were all still going when I left at 4. So,
yeah.
So we went a little while longer.
5.
We absolutely just said this one's not repairable.
No,
not yet. Okay, because found it takes a lot of wire straps and stuff, but. All right, let's see if we got any questions from anybody. Is there anybody on here with any questions about St. Thomas? Oh, good. Good evening, everybody. How you doing?
Fran saying, didn't the snowflakes melt at 30 degrees? Not these ones.
No, the people fixing them melted at 30 degrees. Yes.
And then the group of us that lingered after, we popped over to Caps Off and had some burgers, Loud Burgers, and some beer. And I see Loud Burgers moving over to the brewery down in Port Stanley.
I heard that to the Port Stanley Brewery.
Yeah.
You know me, I love burgers, right?
Yeah,
so
a good burger is a good burger.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I can't read the bottom one.
Are there noise bylaws in St. Thomas related to industrial noise, i.e. at night, from Bree Betts?
Look, if there's noise bylaw, it doesn't matter where it's coming from. So if one of our factories is making a noise that is above a certain decibels after really any time of the day, but certainly in the evening, we can call customer service. Tomorrow, the next day, someone will go out and see what they have to do about it.
Yeah. All right, got some events to mention as well. Spirit Awards, voting for MyFM Spirit Awards is now open. So pop over to their website, and that event will be held on October 24th, the same evening as the Downtown Development Board's Pumpkin Prowl, where we're closing down the street, and the kids are going to swarm with their parents all through downtown.
Did they not notice we do Pumpkin Prowl that night? Because that
keeps us
every
busy. Every time.
Right? And then we can't rush over. And usually after working 3 hours distributing sweet goods for our children, we're a little tired and would like to go have a beverage and not go to another event. So anyway, we'll do our best. we understand that established media and its great podcast ability, like Mayor's Update, has been nominated. So anybody on here tonight, please get a vote in for established media.
Absolutely. And EBRC also has unmentioned for their podcast as well as Tony's show.
Right.
So all great candidates. Much appreciated for MyFM putting all that together. We've got also the pool. That program's still going.
Yeah, the St. Thomas contribution to people who want to have an indoor swim. Now that the weather's changing a little bit, we can't head right to the beach. And so we went and did some funny filming over at the YMCA today, and the mayor in his bathing suit and his floaty. And we talked about what the deal is for families here in St. Thomas for aquafit, for people who want to come and do aquafit, swimming lessons, for swimming safety. We recognize every summer that we do see some drownings, and we want to make sure everyone that needs swimming lessons gets it. And then family swim, and it's all a deep discounted rate to St. Thomas families. You have to go in and show your license, prove you live in St. Thomas, or show something with your address on it. And $4 a person. This is if it's a one-time thing. $4 a person under 16, $5 a person for people over 16, and a little bit cheaper if you buy passes of 20 and quick fill out a form. They give you a card. You can swipe it in each time till your 20 are used up, and we could get you another one.
Yeah.
If you're a resident of St. Thomas. We have had a couple of people from Southwold and Central Elgin say, hey, how about us? I think they probably have to call their mayor, because this mayor who was out there in a bathing suit today making sure St. Thomas folks can still do it.
Bathing suit and a floaty. Did you say you had a floaty as well?
There's noodles there. There's a lot of fun there. And you'll have to guess whether I got wet or not, because this was really active.
I'm very excited to see this video.
It was color coordinated to how beautiful the pool now looks. They did just spend a couple weeks down, and they've repainted the inside. Staff there are friendly and second to none. So look, if you haven't been to the YMCA, this may entice you to buy some swimming passes and then say, our family should join this.
Our family loves it.
There's so many things you can do at the Y. And it was reminiscent. I used to go 6 o'clock in the mornings to power class with Stephanie every morning over there. And it was like, wow, I know where the dressing room is. I know where I'm headed. So it was fun. All right. Any other questions up?
We got a statement, kind of a question. Timothy Hedden is hedging for the mayor to go to Railway City Theatre's improv show on November 7th at the Princess Ave Playhouse. He's put his website in there, so check it out.
I will check it out. Theater. There is something else on the night of the 7th, too.
Yeah.
But I'll have to check and see what that is and where it is. Somebody has me. I know Stephanie is out of town that weekend. So you got a chance, Tim, because Stephanie's not here to tell me not to go. So
it's a Friday evening, so there you go.
Okay. Tim, we'll see.
We've got a lot of other things going on. You guys talked about the secondary plan last night. I know that's of great interest to several of our viewers.
Well, we talked a little bit about our total official plan for St. Thomas, and we're really trying to put a lot of things together with a transportation master plan, a parks master plan, a transit master plan, all trying to roll up into being a new official plan. But part of what we're talking about here from a CIP or a neighborhood point of view is one of them kind of concerns secondary plans, like we're looking at for the railway lands. So we'll be coming out shortly. Our staff will be coming out shortly with the terms of reference for the secondary plan, which will then give us all a good indication of how many public meetings there will be, what the terms of reference will be, who we'll be talking to, how many businesses have shown interest in helping, and where the dotted line is around the secondary plan area. Right? It's a larger than just the railway lands, but it's a whole piece of the east of Talbot Street area. So,
how do terms of reference work?
Well, you want to decide ahead of time what you're trying to accomplish. In this case, we have a number of different owners with properties that are very desirable from a sense of building homes and housing on. But we know that that's also in an area that we'd love to keep village-like or walkable and a bunch of other things. So some of the terms of reference will be based on what the input is from some of the business owners and from some of the public as to what would you see the end result being, right? And of course, recognizing right now we continue to be in a housing crisis, so some of it has to be thought of as to what we would do from a housing point of view. But some of it also has to be on the heritage of our community and what might we do. So I'm not going to pre-guess or predetermine or even give my input on what the terms of reference should be, because I want to be able to participate as the mayor as we do it too.
Right on.
Okay, good.
All right, we've got a question in from Dale Cummings, and he's asked this before. It's why at council meetings is there no time for the public to speak without going through the city manager? I think there should be a list. If you want to speak, limit speakers to 3 minutes. I think that is a Charter of Rights violation.
Well, it is not, because the Municipal Act says that anything that happens at a council meeting is determined by the clerk, not by the city manager. The city manager may have input, but deputations, we have learned, we'd rather get as much detail as we can in writing from the people who want to tell us something. And every letter that is addressed to council and the mayor, it is under communications and petitions, every council meeting. So that's the input. We've asked people who want to give us input in writing that way, or are requesting funding or requesting a bylaw change, to also say it, and if needed, we would appear before council. We could then get the information and 99 times out of 100 help them or solve them or tell them that's not possible. And then we could have a deputation. There are a couple deputations that are somewhat mandatory. In our case, because we're a board member of Integris, when they have their annual general meeting, they have to come and tell us what they've done. And usually we'll at least twice a year have the hospital come and tell us what's happening with the hospital. Look, we're trying to get into a series of, and while you're sitting here watching Mayor's Update, where we take information from you each and every week for the last 7 years, an open, transparent way of you talking with us. We're trying to also decide what else can we do from how can you communicate with us? And we think as we redo the website, there'll also be, each issue will have a spot in there where you can go in and give your input, so that it can be read by all of council and all of everybody else who wants to give input. And then we can steal all those good ideas and talk about them on Mayor's Update. So we're going to give you more and more ways, but public meetings is another way that we can do that. Has anybody ever been to the home show and not seen the mayor stand there the whole weekend answering every question? That's the public input that you can get in this community. We'll continue to do it. And on everything else, we ask for public meetings. Grayden, you and I have sat here and watched a public meeting over in 304 where 4 people came. Right. I mean, it's sometimes I'm paying more staff than there is people who come and visit them. So, not saying you can't have a deputation at council, but let's ask for one and what the purpose is. Also, you and I have talked to, we have many people who do not understand what different levels of government do. And so I want to come and talk about healthcare. Well, okay. I mean, other than the president at our hospital who does count on us to be involved, we don't really have a role in that. So no, you're not going to get a deputation at council that talks about healthcare.
It doesn't make sense.
It's not our level of government. So we'll try our best. Right?
Now, you did have a deputation from the police chief yesterday.
No, the police chief had a report on council, and while he was there giving the report on crime stats, or the 2024 crime stats, he was asked some questions. And so we said, Chief, we haven't heard from you in a long time. And we know that you were at Parliament last week giving an update on how you're doing. Is there anything more you'd like to share? So he did get to give us, but the department heads get that type of relief to talk to council, because we have every chance to go around and talk to every department head too. But sometimes we don't know who knows what. So just sometimes having them summarize a project they're working on, like the chief did last night, bang on to the city so that we know, and it's on air so you can see it too.
Got a question in about whether or not we've talked about the new Taylor Swift album, or is that on its own segment later? We haven't actually talked about the new Taylor Swift album, but it has created a lot of controversy within the music community. A lot of people, very divisive. Some people love it. Other people, they're a bit on the fence.
I love Taylor Swift, not just for her music, and my wife is a musician, so we do sing a lot. not me well, but I love that she really kind of took back all of her music.
Yes.
She was quite smart and bought back her whole library by redoing the whole library. And I love good business entrepreneurs, whether they're good or bad at their trade. But I've not listened to one song off the new album yet, so maybe I'm just gotten way too old.
It's interesting because she's struggling with this as an artist. She came from basically nothing, and now she's a wealthy artist, and she's trying to figure out her new groove there. So it's really hard when you're at that kind of level of wealth and entitlement to then create music that connects with the viewers as it did previously when you're not able to relate necessarily. It seems like she's struggling to relate a little bit.
But if you were a Taylor Swift fan from 20 years ago, what she's doing today would be different. And you may say, that's not what I liked about her, right?
Yeah.
I love music, but I can't follow all genres of music. I have the stuff I like. I believe in classic rock and roll and don't believe there was much good music made past 1990. But that's just me. So, we all get our taste. But now that you've asked me, I'm going to make this week the week I listen to Taylor Swift.
So
if we want to have a conversation about it next week, please ask me, Joe, what did you listen to? How did you like it?
We'll do a deep dive onto Taylor Swift. I love Taylor Swift. I regardless of whether or not I like every track.
I may learn to love Taylor Swift too, but there's some parts of it that don't really help me be a better mayor. Right? I may be happier. That may be a better way to put it.
There are some great songs in her Uber. I watched the Eras tour in the cinema, phenomenal. Haven't gone to see the release tour that she's put out in cinemas. I know Brie did.
So would that make me a Swiftie? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got to watch this. I've got enough other titles.
Next thing you know, you're gonna have the bracelets, the friendship bracelets too.
Oh, okay.
This is you can do a deep dive on it, but next week we'll touch base.
I'll be ready to talk Taylor Swift.
I love it.
What else is happening in our city that you want to ask about?
All right. We've covered all of these things. We went into the pool.
Well, let me cover a little bit of things from last night's agenda then, so we can get out of here on time for the Blue Jays. A couple different zoning, a new zoning bylaw in Southdale at Centennial. There's a spot there that will become townhouses. I had a farmhouse on it, and so we'll take a look.
Very cool.
And some of the official plan amendments on community planning permit system, community improvement plan changes, and we signed a contribution agreement last night with Indwell for the Balaclava supportive housing unit. We received a certain amount of money from one of the housing funds federally, and that's the money we use. So there's no city money other than what we paid for the property going into the problem or into the Balaclava school. Skipping through some more, the Parks and Rec has come up with a proposal for the renting non-discrimination and right to refuse clause on facility rentals. They're one that didn't come through council, whereas all the proclamations that we do and flag raisings come through council. We either say yes or no. So if there was something that wasn't worthy of being a city recognized, we council would know about it. So now the Parks and Rec have it on the rental agreements for their stuff too. Canada Public Transit Fund contribution. We have a amount of money from the Federal Transit Contribution Fund. We're buying 2 new buses in 2025 for that.
Are they electric?
No, they're not. No one is yet making electric buses on our size. There's big electric buses.
Yeah, I saw the ones that were burning in Montreal.
Yeah, or there's ones they pulled off the street in London. Yeah. So the school buses there. So we're not quite ready to do it till we're sure the bugs are out of the system. But,
that's a very Canadian process. I've come to understand. It's like most of the time you watch what happens in America, and then 5 years later, the Canadians they buy the things that don't have the kinks. I've heard that's
it's not a bad thing to do.
Yeah.
And since right now, prices of importing stuff from the United States is more, so we won't do that. But there's a company in Brant County that makes small buses, and we'll be happy to purchase 2 from them. So we have 2 new buses in our system.
Love it.
The drinking water quality statement, there's a report that comes to us every year. It was out this week, which is funny enough because we're also on social media saying your water may have a odor or a taste, right? And it's all perfectly safe, but
But
it's out there.
We've talked about that multiple times.
Right. We'll continue as we continue. Part of our water, most of our water comes from Lake Erie.
Yep.
And it is a very shallow lake that when it turns itself over affects quality. We either have to over chlorinate it, and you say, gee, everything smells like a pool. Right.
So trick for that, pour it into a pitcher, leave it on your counter, let the chlorine evaporate, then you drink your water.
Look at they're scientific too.
I've learned a lot of things on this show over the years.
Recognized for podcasts, but and then water meter replacements. We talked about last night. We're setting aside some funds out of the water meter replacement fund. These are water meters that will read themselves from anywhere, so that we get the information quicker, and water bills are more accurate.
Wow.
But it also within a day would tell us if someone's got a tragic leak in their house. And
that's incredible.
Oftentimes we go a whole month. They get a huge bill, and then they got to come to us and say, could you please forgive me for this great bill? No, you left your garden hose running.
You have no idea.
Month, right? So anyway, new water meters. Here's all the things. So then the police service board overtime report is what the chief came to talk to us about. He's cut overtime by 50% or more, and so we wanted to brag on it a little bit.
Yeah.
Community Health and Wellbeing Month of October, yes, a proclamation and a flag raising. Toastmasters Week, yes, a proclamation and a flag raising. And then some nice letters from the Solicitor General recognizing that we visited him at AMO and talked about the issues from St. Thomas. And another letter to me from the Minister of Finance about the AMO conference saying, thanks for coming and talking to us.
Wonderful.
So perfect. And that's really the biggest things that happened last night at Council.
Well, we've got Brett Longfield has just joined us. He's asking about the secondary plan.
If Brett tuned in earlier, he would have to, why don't we make him look it up tomorrow?
Yeah, you're going to have to scan back. We went all over the secondary plan, gave the full update. So if you scan back after the show's done, you'll be able to see all that info that you're looking for there.
And Dale, I agree with you. I'm all ready. I can get out of here in time for 8 o'clock first pitch in New York. And so I agree with you. Go Blue Jays. If you're not hoping for the Blue Jays, what country are you really from?
We got a shout out for St. Joe's 100th anniversary, which is happening
this weekend. It's Thanksgiving weekend, and I'm heading out of town just to spend some time with Stephanie, because she, of course, has left me and is living up at the North House. So I'm going and having Thanksgiving dinner up there.
Wonderful.
With at least one of her children is coming to spend time with us for the weekend. So
Well, I know I'll be looking after the kids while Jess goes to St. Joe's with her friends to celebrate St. Joe's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's a huge. I mean, we have 3 or 4 great high schools in St. Thomas.
Oh, it's just incredible.
And whenever one celebrates, the rest go, we did that already. Right? But no, it's friendly rivalry of the teams and high schools in town.
Like I was just at that LEDC conference last week. I was talking to someone, and they're like, "Oh, I'm from St. Thomas, lives in London now." And I was like, "Oh, what high school did you go to?" And he was like, "Parkside." And he was like, "What did you go?" I was like, "Central." He's like, "My condolences."
Yeah,
it's just the friendly.
No, and I've heard the same kind of jokes about Voden from Parkside. Yeah. So it is fun. I mean, I went to high school in London and went to Banting, and
I know nothing about. I can't even say anything about Banting.
No, but even when I was a member of Parliament, and they learned that I was a former alumni of the high school.
Yeah,
they went, "Oh, that's nice." Okay, great. Guess that wasn't special enough for them. I didn't discover insulin.
They didn't go to Upper Canada College.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all right. What else we got? Any other new questions come up?
We got the Go Blue Jays Go from Dale Cummings.
Good.
He's got a Detroit Tigers laughter.
We'll see how they do tonight. Is it tonight with them too?
Have no. You know what? I don't know. I don't. It's not.
I'm sorry.
I'm an artist.
I've only been following the Blue Jays, and occasionally last night I put on a bit of football in between.
I don't watch these
whoever was playing baseball.
I don't. I have friends that keep me updated, like yourself.
Right. And I have to do it. So
yeah. All right. No, we're coming to the end of our time there. I think we covered off a lot of stuff. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, no, you always say we're coming to the end of our time. And when you get to be the advanced age that I am, I probably should say it a different way. We've done our half hour tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying.
But also shout out to our viewers. We've been getting over 3,000 views.
Way to go.
Like every week.
Yeah.
between all the different channels. And
I've got a whole social media program that I'm kind of working on to go along with Mayor's update to try and give some better input on things like housing and public safety and the economic drive here in St. Thomas and the things we're doing. And if I can find some time this weekend, I'm going to write most of that up and then determine how to best social media.
Well, and a shout out to Rebecca as well, who's come on with the communication side. Is doing an incredible job for St. Thomas.
She was out there with her camera at the pool today, so I could tell the story. And it's great to have for us to be doing a better job of telling this. And so last night, one of the counselors said, "Oh, the water report. By the way, I've been getting some calls on the taste of water and stuff. Maybe we should put out a social media post." I looked it up, and 6 days ago, we put out a social media post about how the taste of water changes, and this is what it is. They went, "I guess I better follow St. Thomas more," right?
Obviously, everybody should. And then she was also the guest host for the Beehive that's going to come out tomorrow. Oh, and I believe it'll have something to do with the fire department. So stay tuned.
Oh, okay, because the fire department has been also acting up. I saw the chief singing. I saw Matt Rumis dancing, and then I saw the deputy chief they were doing hands on a fire truck or something, and he was a gruff old guy. "Get your hands off that fire truck." Look, it's great to see some of the departments in our community also playing along that life can be fun while we get great things done. And there was a couple of fire calls over the last couple of days, so thank you to the fire department and the services that were working. That's not easy to go do, and I thank the police for the great job they've been doing too.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us.
We miss you.
We'll see you next Tuesday.